Today I'd like to show you how I made this simple zippered makeup bag. I'll put the supplies that I used on the screen. I started by cutting all of my fabric to size. I have this really cool slotted ruler that helps me measure things out super quickly and cut my straight lines. Then I ironed on my fusible fleece to my outer layers of fabric and gave everything a good press. I used a ruler and a hair marker to go along the outside of my fabric and measure every 2 inches. I wanted to give the outside of the bag a quilted appearance, so then I sewed along all of those lines I made and repeated this for my other layer of outer fabric. To start constructing the bag, I laid my outer fabric right side up, my zipper teeth face down, and my lining fabric on top, pinned it at the top, and then sewed along that top edge, making sure to backstitch. Once I had sewed on this first panel, I gave everything a good press and then top stitched along that zipper. To make the other side of the bag, I placed my lining pieces of fabric together, the zipper tape teeth facing up, and my 2 outer fabrics right sides together. I pinned those at the top. You can see what this zipper sandwich looks like here. I have my 2 right sides of my outer fabric and my lining fabric. Then I sewed along that top edge where I pinned. I gave everything a good press and made sure to top stitch the other side. Then I'll fold my 2 outer layers of fabric together and my lining layers of fabric together. Here I'll pin everything together and I'll sew along this edge, leaving about a 4 to 5 inch gap in my lining at the bottom. As I sewed along this edge, I always stop at the zipper and I'll hand crank these stitches over the zipper to make sure I don't break a needle. Now you should have something that looks like this. You can see that gap we've left in the lining. It's sewed all the way around. You can go ahead and snip off any extra zipper tape if you have some here. Now we'll need to box out the corners so that the bag can stand on its own. So at every corner, I'll pull apart the seams and try to make them as smooth and as flat as possible on both sides. You can use an iron if that helps. I measured 2 inches from the tip of every corner, and then using a ruler and a pencil I marked a straight line across. Here I clipped those seams open. This helps to keep everything straight. You want to make sure those seams are as straight as possible. You'll sew along those lines, making sure to backstitch, and then you can cut off that extra corner. Once you've repeated that step for all 4 corners, we're ready to turn the bag right side out. The last step will be to sew up your lining, and once you put it right side out, you have a finished bag. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.